afternoon.
Good afternoon, distinguished members of the Appropriations panel. My name is Lauren O'Malley, Lauren,M-A-L-L-E-Y. I'm an MBA student at the University of Nebraska, Omaha. I'm appearing today on behalf of the University of Nebraska system in support of LB 961. You know those memories that even years later you still think about? Doesn't matter how long it's been. I'd like to tell you about 3 of mine. First, 16 years ago, I remember visiting this very building as a 4th grade student from Omaha's Black Elk Elementary. Second, I'm a senior at Millard West High School, finding out I got a full ride scholarship from UNO, which was funny because I swore I would go to college as far away from Omaha as possible. But once I got that letter from UNO, I realized I could get more opportunity if I stayed than if I went to college somewhere else. The third memory is a conversation I had with Dr. Gina Ligon 2 years ago. I got my undergraduate degree from UNO with 4 business concentrations: finance, investment science and portfolio management, banking and financial markets, and marketing. I had just graduated and I wasn't sure what to do next. I knew I wanted to get an MBA, but I thought I needed to leave Omaha to find the challenging opportunity that I craved. That day, Dr. Ligon asked me to be part of a terrorism research center, now known as NCITE. My first reaction was, what? I'm a business student. I studied finance. What would someone like me bring to terrorism research? That day, she challenged me to use my degree in a different way, by looking at how terrorists finance themselves. Now, I'll be frank, you have to take a lot of finance classes to get 3 finance majors. But I can assure you that out of all those finance classes, terrorism came up 0 times. Who thinks that way? Who thinks about terrorism when you're thinking about finance? NCITE does. I've seen this firsthand in the brilliant people that I get to work with and the products I've helped produce, like a guide for researchers to measure the return on investment of their projects. Now, a few weeks ago, I was interviewing with a Nebraska company for a job once I graduate in May. And while talking about my time at NCITE, one of the executives asked, who thinks of terrorism when they think about finance? And my first thought was, how could you not? Don't worry, I didn't say that out loud. But that's when I remembered my first conversation with Dr. Ligon, where I had the exact same question. It was then I realized just how much I've grown and just how unique the mindset at NCITE truly is. See, when most people think about the price of Bitcoin, they're not making the connections between cryptocurrency and terrorism. NCITE does. And when you read about the metaverse, people aren't talking about how terrorists could use it to recruit people from all over the world. NCITE does. And ever since that moment as a student at Millard West, I knew I wanted to be part of something bigger. But I wanted all of this without having to give up the good life that I live here in Nebraska. I admit that I, like many of my talented peers, have thought that career advancing opportunities were only found if you leave Nebraska. But thanks to NCITE, I got the opportunity of a lifetime to work in counterterrorism as a business student alongside the best researchers in the world, and luckily for me, only 20 minutes away from home-cooked meals at my parents' house. Now, I know you've listened to many people tell you why their organization deserves a share of these federal ARPA dollars. As someone with a degree in investing, I empathize with you, because I'm sure these decisions are tough. As a future business leader, I can say that investing in NCITE is a sound investment decision. It will impact both the state and local economy by creating jobs and bringing in high caliber talent to Nebraska. It will incentivize local talent, like MBA students at UNO, to plant roots here by providing world-class opportunities for education and employment. And it will create valuable resources for law enforcement, government officials, and even businesses to keep communities safe. Now, I believe today will also be one of those moments I'll remember for years to come, hopefully for a good reason. And I feel now more than ever prepared for my next step in the world because of NCITE and because of the investment UNO made in me. And I'll leave you with this. Investing in NCITE is investing in the future of Nebraska and people like me who were born here, grew up here, and want to stay here. Thank you.